Hey there, math fans. I'm going to talk about circular motion here. In our pre-calculus course, we talk about how sine and cosine relate to locations on the circle, but we don't do the standard thing of having students memorize the unit circle. We connect it to circular motion. This is extremely valuable. Our 120 pre-calculus book was written by someone from engineering and someone that had been in our department for a long time, and we want to build this connection between sine, cosine, and circular motion. I have used this when I was doing graphics in undergrad. I was originally a computer science major, then I switched to math. We use this in graphics all the time, and I use it every day when I'm animating things for my classes. Circular motion is really valuable. You see it everywhere you go. So let's make this strong connection between these and really understand the unit circle and all the pieces that go with it. So in this part, I'm going to do a bit of my lecture. I want to record it so that I have a segment, I have an introduction for students that are finding themselves getting lost, because this is a topic where students get lost in the initial angle and various things we see. So my goal here is to get this is going to be a kind of a slow introduction. We'll talk about Harry the Husky moving around, then we'll do Penelope the cat in a moment. So we'll come back to that. I'll show a few things. At any point you can move yourself further along in this video, but this is something I hope students can come back to. It's kind of the start of this piece. Okay, so this is the beginning of these lecture notes. In fact, I'm going to do these lecture notes tomorrow in my class, but I wanted to say a few general things at a little more slower pace. So Harry starts at the edge, the easternmost edge. Never eat soggy Wheaties, is what my teacher used to say. So this is where he starts. And I just want to step into this slowly. Eventually, we're going to call that an initial angle of 0. Now, the moment I put subscripts in, alarms go off, students go crazy. So don't worry about that yet. This is why I wanted to step into this. Okay. In the previous sections, we talked about how you can draw a little right triangle when you're in the first quadrant. You can draw in other quadrants too, but we started in the first quadrant. We talked about how this value, whatever it is the x-coordinate of Harry. We talked about how this value, y, is the y-coordinate of Harry, and how this length right here is r. And again, if this is too slow, you can skip to the next part, but I want to make sure we're there. We then said that if we know this angle, then we can use the trig facts. We can say cosine of theta is x over r, and we can say sine of theta is y over r. That's that thing. And that works no matter where you are there. And then we said that we define sine and cosine to be the appropriate value if you go beyond 90 degrees. So sine and cosine are really defined in terms of that circle. We then multiply both sides by r, and that's where this formula comes from. So this is really coming from the definition of sine and cosine. So there's not a lot that's happened yet, but that's a big, important starting place. Okay, let's erase that. Students don't like that when I do that in class. Wait, I was still writing that. You can pause it. Okay, so here we go. So the challenge in these problems is they typically tell us the radius. That's not the challenge. You can say, sometimes you have to compute it, but that's not a big deal. So why do students struggle with these problems? They struggle with these problems typically because of a misunderstanding with the angle. I find sometimes people just aren't comfortable thinking in terms of angles. They haven't had to do it very much. That makes sense. In addition, the angles are usually given in messy ways. Not because we're trying to be mean, but because that's often how angles come out. So for this first problem, I'm going to keep the numbers really simple. I'm going to say that Harry is rotating this way, and that every second he goes 10 degrees. Never will you have something that nice. So in 1 second he goes 10 degrees, in 2 seconds he goes 20 degrees, in 9 seconds he'll go 90 degrees. So you might even be able to anticipate where he will be in 9 seconds. He will be at the top, right? So often I like to do examples. This is just good in general when doing math. Do examples where you already know the answer. In 9 seconds, he's going to be here. And that coordinate is 0, 40. So you can use this as a test case. Whatever we're about to do here, if we plug in 9 seconds, we know we should get 0 out of the first one and 40 out of the second one. You want to have test cases like this when you're doing something new. I often tell students to do 3 simple examples where you plug in numbers before you try to find a general pattern. Some students are clever enough to go to the general pattern, but I'm not. I need to see a few simple examples. Okay, so that's kind of what's going on. So now we're going to switch gears to just finding the angle. So in 5 seconds, what will the angle be? And if I can figure it out, I'll plug it in there. Usually for these, students can figure out right away. They say 50 degrees. What they've actually done is they've taken angular speed, which was, I said 50, but the angular speed is just 10. And they multiplied these two. It's a rate conversion. There is a formula for that. It's theta equals omega t. But just like with any speed, you can think of it as a conversion or you can think about it as the formula. We talked about that in a few different settings. Again, the issue is just people are less comfortable thinking in terms of angles. So that's what's going to go here is omega t. Omega t. So this is a slight generalization of our formula, but a much more useful version of our formula for when this is changing. Okay, so that's our first piece, and I just wanted to do that here. So in 1 second, so you can even say in general what's happening is this is going to be 10. Now the moment I read a 10 there, I've made a decision about what I'm going to use. I'm going to pull my calculator in for this. If you don't know on your calculator where this is at the top. You can see it has radians, gradient, and degrees. So now is when I need to get it in degrees. And then I'm going to plug different things in. So I'm going to do 40 times cosine of 10 times, in this case, 5. And I get this number. So in 5 seconds, the x-coordinate, so when I plug in a 5 here, I get that the x-coordinate is 25.71. And when I plug it into the other one, let's do that. Sine. I get 30.64. That's this location right here. So I wanted to sort of step into that. It's parametric equations. We did linear parametric equations earlier in the term, so that's part of why we did it then, was so that when you got here this wasn't so foreign. But there's a lot of things that make people uncomfortable here. But again, very valuable if we can get this going. Okay, now let's do our test case. If I plug a 9 in here, what happens? We already thought that it would be 0.40, but let's do it. So let's go back here. I'll do the cosine first. Let's plug in a 9. So it's going to be 90 degrees. 0. Aw. Good. It's very satisfying to do a test case when you're doing something new on mathematics. People make a mistake with this at every level. Me too. I wrote a paper once that made it all the way past the publisher. And there was a big error in one of the key theorems. And I caught it, and I told him not to publish it. But if I would have just done a couple of experiments, I would have known it was an error. So it happens at every level. Do a couple of experiments. I learned an important lesson there. Okay, where will I be in 1 minute? Okay, I need to do 60 seconds. Tricky. Okay, cosine, 60 seconds. And I don't have to think about like what quadrant I'm in. I got -20. It's weird that it came out to be exact. Let's see, 60 seconds. Oh, that might be evenly divisible in a nice way. Nope. This is negative 34.64. Okay, let's watch the visual of that. I hope that was okay, but I wanted to do an example that removed some of the difficulties we're going to see in the next part. Okay, so here it is. Here's it back at the beginning. Let's go. So here's where we are at 5 seconds. And there's those formulas in there. Here's where we are at 9 seconds. And let's speed it up a little bit. And there's where we are at 60 seconds. Negative 20. And what do we say? They both should be negative, and negative 34. Okay, great. So that's step one. So it's not that bad. If you get the angular speed, you're just plugging angular speed times time. You need to make sure your calculator's in the right mode. But there's enough going on already that I see mistakes. Okay, in practice, and I've written on this already, the challenge is that sometimes there's a little more to do to find that angle. So we just talked about this in that last example, that we're going to do omega t to find out how much the angle changed. If you want to have a fancy symbol here, you can do delta theta. This is the change in the angle. That's not an important thing for this course, it's just important for how we think about it. We don't always start at 0. In the last example, I had Harry start at this point. Often we start somewhere else. If we start somewhere else, we need to figure out what that angle is. That bothers people. So let's just imagine we started at 50 degrees. And then we rotated at 10 degrees per minute. That's going to be our formula. That's the adjustment. Then we'll plug in here. So that's the challenge. Now, you can also have it go clockwise. If it went the other way, then you're going to be subtracting. Ooh, so that adds another layer of challenge. Angular speed, it's going to be positive if it's counterclockwise. And negative if it's clockwise. So that's the full story, is you're trying to track down the angle. All right, so let's finish this by just doing one example where we don't start on the rightmost edge. So here I have Penelope, my cat, one of my cats, and Penelope is, let's move this up a little bit. Penelope is starting at the southernmost edge. So there's just, like I said, there's just enough going on that students start to get lost here. So I wanted to do a slow example. So we have the radius is 8. Well, that wasn't so bad. Cosine, sine, and now we're switching gears to thinking about the angle. Where did we start? Now, the truth is there's many correct answers for that. You could say we started at 3 pi over 2. Now that does require you remember what that angle is, which is an added thing we're practicing here. We could say we started at negative pi over 2. Both of those are correct. Let's say 3 pi over 2. So we started at 3 pi over 2 at time 0. Done. Then we're going counterclockwise. So we're going to add on counterclockwise 2 radians per second. I should note that when I wrote this down, I chose radians. I wasn't even thinking about that, to be honest. I just by habit choose radians. But if I had chosen degrees, I can't have the other one be radians. So there's some unit stuff to worry about. But we're adding, because it's counterclockwise, positive 2t. So a lot of this, part of this is just knowing where the numbers go. But there are some questions that take this a step further. So if you can't do what we just did, those questions are going to be near impossible. Okay, then the question says plug in 3. That's it. Then we'll know where Penelope is in 3 seconds. So let's do it 8 times, and we'll double check it. Now I need to be in radians. And I'm going to do 3 pi divided by 2 plus 2 times 3, so plus 6. Negative 2.23. So I'm getting that Penelope will be, this will be negative 2.24 if I round it correctly. And then let's do it again with sine. It's going to be negative 7.68. So I'm getting that Penelope will be somewhere down here in the third quadrant. Let's check this out and see if that is indeed where Penelope ends up. So we said negative 2. Sorry to move this around. Here's time 0. Here goes Penelope. We're going to see where Penelope is in 3 seconds. So there's 1 second. There's 2 seconds. And we're going. And so a lot of what we just did was just to account for the fact that she started somewhere else. 3 seconds, done. All right, hope that helped a few of you out and gave you a few more details.